How you guys doing? My name is Teddy Rosenthal, and this is my partner Brandon Severdi, and welcome to Football Analytics.
Alright guys, 76,881 fans packed Memorial Stadium. Safe to say it was a sea of red, and no other spring game was like that. All to see Mike Riley. Let's check out those highlights right now.
It's DeMornay Pearsonell. They give it to him out of the jet sweep motion. DeMornay around the left side. He's got 10. He's got 12 yards. Keeps it, hands it off to Newby. He's got room. 35-30. Newby weaving his way. 25. Lowers his head. Finally knocked to the ground at the 19-yard line. He'll pick up with 23 yards of the play. First and goal for the 8. Zone read hand off to Tanner around the right side. He's in there for 6 points. Adam Tanner finds the end zone. Good snap. Bolts. Low. Driving kick. Pearsonell going back, makes a catch at his own 21. To the 25 to 30, look out. DeMornay to the 40. DeMornay to midfield. Gets a block out front. Fultz, the punter, is going to knock him down to the 33-yard line. DeMornay Pearsonell with a long return for Nebraska down to the right 33-yard line. Snap back. Zone read, handoff to Newby. Got the middle 30, 25. Newby to the 20, down the 19-yard line. Kyron Williams knocks him down. Tommy gets the shotgun snap. Wheels to the near side, avoid pressure. Now he's going to run. Tommy to the 25, and then takes on some contact at the 27-yard line. Darlington looking, holding, sets, throws, pass caught. Put it in a nice window. Out of bounds to the 48-yard line, pulled in by Ty Betka. A walk-on from Superior. Zach in the shotgun. Gives it off to Tote, keeps it himself. Fakes the handoff around the right side of the 40. Has a first down, 35-30. 20-yard gain by Zach Darlington. And again, the zone read. Fake the handoff. Darlington looking to throw. Guns toward the end zone. Wide open. Jamal Turner makes a catch. Touchdown, Red. What a throw.
That was an impressive catch made by Jamal Turner, thrown by Zach Darlington. Speaking of that, how do you think the quarterbacks did?
I mean, overall, it was kind of mediocre. I was kind of disappointed. I would give it a overall grade of a C+. Yeah. And Mike Riley said in his press conference, the quarterbacks did some things that were really good and some things that weren't so good.
I mean, naturally, it's early on in the season.
Oh yeah, it's only the spring game, and there's a lot of pregame jitters, which I'll explain about one of the quarterbacks in a little bit. But the surprisingly best quarterback there is Zach Darlington.
He really impressed.
I mean, this is a kid 2 years ago in high school that got such a bad concussion that he had to have been airlifted off the field, and we didn't even know he could play football.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about Bo Pelini was he honored his scholarship and let him stay. And what's impressive about Zach Darlington is he decided to stay, even like looking at it, he was the 5th string quarterback starting this spring.
Yeah.
And I mean, this spring game, he was phenomenal. He went 7 for 11 passing. He had a pair of touchdowns. And he had a 19-yard run. I didn't know he really had wheels.
I know. I was not expecting that.
He said in his press conference that he was fired up after that run, and he was impressive. That rollout pass to Jamal Turner, you saw in the highlights in the corner of the end zone, that was
great.
Awesome. And he said that he's building a relationship with Jamal Turner, and quarterbacks need to build relationships.
Yeah, with the receivers.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it was a great day, and I honestly think he could make the 2nd string, and I think he can make a push for the 1st string if Tommy Armstrong struggles. I mean, I got Zach Darlington as my vote.
Overall, I mean, the rest of the quarterbacks, there weren't very many impressive guys. I mean, A.J. Bush, who was supposed to be coming into the spring game as the best quarterback, didn't do very much. I mean, he had a touchdown and 2 interceptions, and then you had, what the hell's his name? Armstrong, who had a touchdown and an interception, didn't do the greatest.
He was
then
Armstrong.
Johnny Stanton, who going into the game, I felt like he deserved something. I mean, this is his sophomore year of eligibility, so we still have 2 more years on the football team with him. But I also believe, he didn't do the greatest. He only had like 30, 40 yards.
One interception.
One interception. Had only like 4 or 5 completed passes, but he did have a 13-yard run in which he ran over a couple. Josh Banderas, I think is his name. So I'm really excited to see what our quarterbacks should be like this year.
Yeah.
I think that they're not going to
no job safe.
Yeah, they're not going to be the greatest fit for Mike Riley's offense just because of the fact that he runs a pro-style West Coast offense, so to speak, and we more have dual threat running passing quarterbacks.
But in a way, that's good for these quarterbacks. I mean, Mike Riley's adapting to these guys, and don't forget, Mike Riley is a quarterback developer. You look at Sean Mannion, amazing. I mean, he did phenomenal, and he's looking at maybe a possible first-round pick or kind of in the middle of a second round. Either way, he broke records.
Yeah, he did.
And I mean, he also had Derek Anderson. God, I forget. John Kitna.
Yes.
I mean, John Kitna's an all right. I mean, he's developed quarterbacks though. They're highly drafted players, and he develops quarterbacks, and I believe that he can develop all these quarterbacks to be great. I mean,
and speaking of development, one player that stood out to me. This isn't a quarterback. Terrell Newby. Now, last season came into the season a freshman, true freshman, playing, in a very decent team. And, he was in a few games, ran some yards, had some yards all season, but had a lot of fumbles. But in the spring game, it seems as if he alleviated those issues. I don't know how. I guess the offseason must have just changed something. But it is the regular season. So, yeah.
But you also look, he had a lot of improvement they only had 15 spring game practices, and the little carries that he had last year, he fumbled the ball. But, last year you could still see he has potential. Like, he is fast as hell, When he gets outside in the edges and there's green, he's gone. You saw that in the game. He breaks out big runs.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's the next Abdullah because, Abdullah's more of a complete back.
Yeah.
Newby's kind of fast. But, he was obviously extremely impressive.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our next subject.
All right, so we already established that Terrell Newby was impressive. He was. But what I was really, really surprised with is the fact that Amani Cross didn't start. He didn't suit up red team. And I guess that just really surprises me. And honestly, in the spring game, he didn't do all that much. He had a few good carries. I think he had somewhere around 35 yards, something like that. But it's just the fact that he didn't do very much, and I was really surprised. But I think another running back, we had two other running backs who suited up, but I think another running back who did pretty damn well was Adam Taylor. What do you think?
Adam Taylor, he has the potential to be a really good back. Last year he got hurt and wasn't able to really get any carries last year. I think he was out for most of the season. But, you could see he's a really good running back. He came out of Texas about 2 years ago, and he was a standout there. His team went to the state championship, and he just went off. And he has a lot of potential to do good. He got 35 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And he early in the game, I think it was the first drive actually, he got a touchdown right in the corner of the end zone.
I think it was the first drive, yes.
Yeah. And by the way, quick correction. Amani Cross actually, remember he was in the all red. He actually.
That was the second half.
But
first half he suited up white. Second half he suited up red. But Michael Wilbon, that's another name.
Who?
Exactly. That's another name that I was really surprised because coming into the season, nobody knew who he was. Just some freshman that came from wherever the hell he came from. But he did really good against I think he suited up white, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did good against our first team defense. He had somewhere around 42 yards rushing. Which
he actually had 55 yards rushing.
No, he didn't.
Or no, six carries.
Six carries for 42 yards.
You're right. But that's good.
That's good against our starting defense.
Look at that average. 6 carries and 42 yards.
That's an 8-yard average. That's pretty damn impressive.
He was hitting the holes. He was getting open, man.
Yeah, he was.
All right, so wide receivers. There's really, honestly, not much to say. We already look like a great unit. We're solid. Jordan Westerkamp, we all know what he can do.
Yeah.
Brandon Riley, I liked him since last year.
He did good at the spring game. Jamal Turner, he had a few catches here and there.
He got a touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Did you know he actually said at his press conference he cried? That's how happy he was. He's a 6th-year senior. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, he got that extra year of eligibility, so that's a good thing. But another name who it really stuck out was DeMornay Pearson-L. This is a kid who came in last year and played the entire season and did phenomenal the entire season.
More as a punt returner, though. He
Yeah.
didn't really get involved with the offense until
not
late
really,
in the
not
season.
really that much.
Especially against Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was his best game
Yes.
statistically catching.
Yeah.
Besides that fumble he had at the end of the game.
But he was playing like a similar position to what we have at our high school. We call it an H-back. Normal teams would call it like a wing back or something like that. He was lined up more inside, and he was
He's
doing
a
a lot
slot
of
receiver.
jet sweeps, and I liked that.
39 yards rushing.
Yeah, and
he had a
that
lot
punt
of-
return that he had.
Yeah.
That punt return was
Gotta-
like 45 yards.
We're going to smash Sam Folds into the ground.
Yeah,
I love
it
you,
was
Sam. You're a
gr-
great punter,
yeah,
but
but
come on,
seriously.
man. That shouldn't happen. But we all know what Pearson L can do. Punt return.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. He had
Yeah.
an average of 17 yards per punt return. I mean,
Yeah.
he leads the nation. He was, I don't know if he won the Johnny the Jet award or if they even done that yet. I think it's just a candidate.
Yeah, he was a candidate last year. He
But
wasn't.
No, this year.
Oh,
they
this
did
year?
They did it in the summer. It's kind of weird.
I know that they had it last year
Yeah.
because last year was the first year, but I definitely think that he should be a good contender to
Well, this
win
is
the award.
something that I love is Mike Riley and Danny Langford and everyone is getting him involved with this offense, not just make him a punt returner only.
Yeah,
Because he is
that's awesome.
dangerous with the ball. I mean, they
He
got
really is.
they did bubble screens with him and screens. If he can, I mean, he didn't really break out in any of the screens, but I mean, like I said, it's like we said, it's only the spring. If
Yeah.
he can get the wide receiver to block for him,
Yeah.
I mean, he's gone. If
Yeah.
he sees green,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh, yeah.
he's electrifying.
Yeah, he is very dangerous in open field.
Oh, yeah.
We can agree on that. He is extremely dangerous in open
Honestly,
field.
I mean, last year he kind of reminds me of Jamal Turner when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he was healthy. Yeah.
I mean,
can
Jamal
agree with
Turner
that.
can make some moves that Pearson L does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad that this receiving core I'm extremely excited for,
Yeah.
and I think we're got one of the best receiving cores in the Big Ten, which
Yes.
will help out our young quarterbacks.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
So that's our wide
All right.
receivers. Well, our defense. As a whole, I thought it was a pretty solid day. I mean, I didn't see a lot of flaws that we had last year. I mean, even last year we were a pretty good defensive team, but this year I felt like everyone is more aggressive, and I think that's what our
Yeah.
defensive coach is putting emphasis on.
Yeah.
Is we want to be more aggressive and get at that quarterback.
Yes. Oh
and
my
that's what
God.
I feel about last year's. We never put pressure on the quarterback. We did not
didn't.
blitz enough. Like
No.
I didn't feel like the line was the only one putting pressure
The,
on.
the line, I think, did great.
Yeah.
We have names like Vincent Valentine, Jack Gangwish, Greg McMullen,
Malik
Malik Collins. Our front four are huge.
Athletic.
Athletic. They're definitely athletic. They were. I don't want to say they were manhandling the offensive line because the offensive line I didn't think did that bad.
Well, as the backups too.
Well, yeah, but they were doing good. They had a few tackles like up the front four. That I just think overall they established what they can do,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season entails. But I think like Brandon said, I don't think that we were solid all around for defense. We had a few slip ups, a couple penalties here and there, nothing major, expected. But I mean, yeah, that's
I mean, well, also a little more on the defense line. Then I want to say a few things about the defense real quick. With the defense, those interceptions that AJ Bush threw and some of our quarterbacks. I mean, those were all. I mean, the quarterback was pressured. Like he was under pressure.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
was.
he didn't feel comfortable, and they forced them to throw interceptions. And I
3
mean,
or 4 of them.
oh yeah, I mean the defensive line plays just as much of an important part to getting interceptions and turnovers as any.
As any other position.
I mean, you look at our secondary too. We have a lot of players that are hurt right now, but they'll all be back. They'll be good for
Yeah.
fall. Nate Gary's out. John Davey, Kalu, I think.
Whatever.
Cockroach.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
But, I mean, we had a lot of young players in the secondary, and they produced turnovers, and it was
Yeah.
good. And I mean, also on linebacker, Josh Banderas had a pretty solid day. Wearing
Yeah.
Nate Gary's jersey, though, I didn't exactly understand
Whatever. But I think that our defense established what they can do, and I'm really excited to see what our defense can do during the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a lot of things that we did good in the game.
Right.
There's a lot of things we did bad.
Right.
But I mean, it's spring. We still got 4.5 months till the
Oh
start
my
of the
God,
season.
we
The
got
season starts
plenty
September
of time.
6th. Is
Yeah.
our first game. We got plenty of time. We've got so much time to work out everything.
It's gonna be 4 months of hell
It
without
really- yeah.
football. My
I
God,
know, it's gonna be terrible.
Oh my
the
God.
anticipation is killing me.
I mean, this spring game is just like something to like make us not want to kill ourselves. Like for real.
But
That's our defense.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah.
With our closing statement, I'd like to say, remember, guys, this is just a spring game. I mean, it's kind of like no different from an NFL preseason game. Not the starters are playing the whole game. You know, there's
Yeah.
backups playing, and I mean, it's a day for the coaches to evaluate the players, and it's basically a glorified scrimmage so us fans
Yeah.
can see the
yeah,
game.
just so we can get a taste of what's to come.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's gonna be players that look amazing but turn out not to be that great. Like I'll give you an example, Breon Carnes. I remember a few years ago, he looked amazing. Like he had I think over 100 yards rushing or something
Yeah,
like that.
something
He,
like
he
that.
looked great, and he
Come the season.
he kind of burned out and transferred. And then another thing is, I remember last year, Zach Darlington did not look good in the spring game. He did
No.
not look good at all.
Did not.
I was not impressed. But I mean, this year he looks awesome.
Yeah,
So
so
I
guess
mean,
only time will tell.
don't
Really.
don't be disappointed. Like AJ Bush, I believe he can be a good quarterback. He jitters. I mean, seriously, 76,000 at a spring game,
Yeah.
and you're a freshman.
And
Come on.
Mike Riley was feeling it too. He said in his
Oh,
press
yeah.
conference after the game that it overwhelmed
Oh
him.
yeah.
But I mean, like I said, more's to come. This has been Football Analytics. This is our very first episode, more of like a pilot episode, I guess if you want to call it. But like I said, there's a lot more to come from this. This is, like I said, our first episode, so look at the backdrop. But
Better technology.
yeah, hopefully. But we want to thank you guys for watching, and we will sign out.
Go Skurs.